My name is Michelle Turkington, and I am going to teach you how to add a philanthropy event to the calendar. There are several ways. I'm going to show you two here today. The first is through the administrative tab. By the way, for some of you, this is going to be new. You've recently been given a new access status of registration administrator. So this tab, maybe you're seeing it for the first time. What you want to do is click on Member Management, and even though that title isn't very intuitive, that's how you access the calendar. And then you go to the Registration Tool Manager. From this point, you will see all of the events, all of our philanthropies, and you can choose one. You can go in and you can manage it, you can view it, you can assign recurring status, you can set it up. That's really not something you're going to be working with. That's when we add a new philanthropy. Okay, now I'm going to show you another way. This one, by the way, the second way seems to be more popular as I've been training people this weekend. So the calendar view is that you go in and select your philanthropy. The example I'm going to be doing for you today is Mutt Madness. So I'm going to select that. And then it'll go to a calendar that lists all the Mutt Madness that's currently on the calendar, but you're going to want to manage it. Okay, so right now, this drills into all of, I should have showed you for the other way, it comes to exactly the same place. And this is all the current adoptions that are on the calendar. So I'm going to show you how to add a registration event. So you go down, scroll down, and after all the ones that are currently listed, you're going to pick Add a Registration Event. And then this is going to be very much like the Google form that some of you have been completing. Thank you, Sally, for your insight that this is what we need to know. The registration name. So you basically fill out this form. So something we learned today is that it's important to add even though it's a little bit redundant, it's important to add the philanthropy name at the beginning, because that way, if you're on the calendar, you can see right away that you're volunteering for Mutt Madness, and it makes it easier for people who aren't as familiar to recognize it for what it is. So we're going to put a Mutt Madness pet adoption on the calendar. And so you're going to want to give a good description of the event. So what Mutt Madness needs is 6 volunteers to work at the pet adoption, and you'll play with the puppies and answer questions from visitors. Wear your pink shirt. That's all it is to it. Some people are tempted to put an address here, but really there's a different place on the site to do that. So you're given the option on the next one to choose a document. This is for people who have waivers, okay? So you can actually make it very convenient for your registrants to put the waiver right there. It doesn't apply to Mutt Madness, so I'm not going to do it. If you want to be more compelling or engaging with your audience, you can add a picture. Like this would be great with this if you added some cute puppies to show what it's about. It's optional. Max reservations is not optional, so I'm going to put 6 because that's the number of volunteers we're looking for. Minimum reservations, that's not really very important as a liaison. You're supposed to be monitoring how your event registration is going and your number of volunteers. So just check with the site and make sure that you have no response to your event. You have another option of restricting the sign-up. There are very few instances where I would recommend doing this, but you have a lot of options. You can do everybody in the chapter, you can do a particular grade level, but when you do this, let's say I restricted this to the class of 2019, the moms, to the TikTokers. The moms would not be able to see it, only the TikTokers would, and so really just, unless you've got a really good reason, don't restrict the sign up. Enable the wait list. Yes, you do want to do this, and no, you don't want to notify the administrators. You want to automatically add the first person on the wait list. Okay, very important. You want to make this as automated as possible. So even though you've added a title here, the computer still doesn't know what your philanthropy is. So you really need to tell it. So search this drop-down menu. By the way, someone taught me today, you can just search, start typing, and it'll find Mutt Madness. And the activity is adoption. And the location. So for most philanthropies, you're going to want to select the location. I'm trying to find, Mutt Madness usually doesn't put one on there, so I'm just going to pick the first one. So then when we see that view this event, it's going to put the philanthropy address. But really, in the case of Mutt Madness, you don't want to do that because they never have them at their house. They go to a remote location such as Red Bandana Pet Stores, and so you want to share that information. So some things that are important, you want to include the name of the venue, the specific street address, including the zip code in case somebody needs to GPS it, and a store location phone number, and that's in case somebody is lost and frustrated. They'll have somebody to call that could help them make their shift. If they don't call there, they'll be calling you, so you want to make sure you include that. So then you need to add the time of the event. So my fictitious event is going to be on the 28th, and it is going to start at 1 o'clock. You could add minutes. I don't want to in this example. And the sign-up starts 60 days before the event, and the end date must be after the start date. So we're going to go back on the 28th, and I'm going to pick 4 o'clock. It's a 3-hour shift. I could add minutes again, but I'm not going to. Then I'm done. You have the option to end the sign up before the actual event. So this is completely optional and on you. 2 days, 7 days, that you completely whatever you want. So here's an interesting term, coordinator. Coordinator means liaison. So what you're going to want to do is give information so the person who's volunteering can easily find out how to contact you if they need to. So Lisa Mullins is the volunteer for Mutt Madness, the liaison for Mutt Madness. So I'm going to select her. And you would think it would auto-populate her information, but it doesn't. So we're going to put something in there and give her a fictitious email. So here's a feature. Now that you've set that up, if you want to be emailed when somebody registers or cancels, then you can enable this feature and tell it to notify you as people move through your event. Really, the only thing that makes sense, you have 3 options. The only thing that makes sense is to sign up. Just imagine if you put RSVP and then someone would be telling you, no, I can't make your event, and that would just drive you crazy. So sign up is your only option. Calendar color. We decided on a color scheme last year, and so all philanthropies are light purple. And really that's it. These advanced requirements, those have to do with setting up a meeting and don't have to do with philanthropy events. So hit save. Now we can go and we can see that on October 28th, this is the one I added, there's a real one above it. I have 6 slots for people. I can add an attendee. I can come up here and pick Michelle and hit go. It's going to come up with my name and it will automatically add me to that event. Typically people will register on their own, however. It's taking a while to think. There I am. I'm registered for the event. Okay, and if my event was full, I'd have 5 other names there. So I'm going to go back. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And this. Manage. Take in the calendar view. here's my fictitious event. I could edit that event. And so let's say that I wanted, the philanthropy contacted me and they say, hey, do you think you could collect some puppy toys? I say, sure, let me put it on the calendar. So it asked for some puppy donations, and then I would hit save. And this is now part of my event registration. So we can go across here and open it. I think so. Yeah, maybe I do it this way. And you can view it, and you can see that it's added the please bring a puppy toy donation. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the actual calendar. So I could copy this event. So I could come over here and copy it. And what would happen is it would, the original event is still the same. So I'm going to want to change this slightly to say Sunday. We'll say Sunday. We'll pretend the other one was, it was a Saturday. So basically everything's the same. I still only need 6 people. I'm adding another slot. Literally everything is exactly the same. And so what I'm going to do is change the date to Sunday. Done. I'm gonna, it's sending me a flag that it has to end after it starts, which makes sense. Done. Coordinators all the same. 1, 2, 3, boom. So now I've just added a second day. See it? Pet Adoption Sunday. So for both of these events, I don't want Lisa Mullen to be mad at me, so I'm going to take them off the calendar, and I can do that very easily. And this will delete my registration for the event also. I'm going to take it off. It's going to ask me, are you sure? And then I'm going to do the second one that was my copy. I'm going to delete it. And then if we go back to the calendar, view it. There's only the one real event on the 28th that eliminated my duplications, and same for the Sunday copy that I put on. So that's really it. I hope you found this easy to use, and if you have any questions, call me, and Leslie and Kat can also answer some questions if they're easier, more convenient. Thank you, and good luck.